Welcome to Nano Review. The current market for modern tactical platforms has reached an undeniable point of hyperinflation. But shifting our focus away from those astronomical price tags reveals an entirely different landscape. A reserve of battle-proven heritage firearms currently available for less than the cost of an entry-level AR. Let's be clear, these are not budget replicas. These are functional pieces of military history engineered for active range use. While traditional collectors lock away pristine examples in climate-controlled vaults, informed shooters are quietly acquiring 12 specific platforms. These models offer legendary, combat-tested reliability entirely completely divorced from the modern premium. Whether you are curating your first collection or you're a seasoned enthusiast seeking maximum functional value, this is your definitive acquisition guide. Let's examine the hardware. Number 7. Chinese SKS Type 56. Finding a semi-automatic surplus rifle that isn't astronomically expensive is getting genuinely tough these days. While collectors have driven the prices of Russian and Yugoslavian SKS models past the $800 mark, there is still hope for the budget-conscious buyer. That's exactly what makes the Chinese Type 56 SKS such a rare and valuable find right now. From an objective mechanical standpoint, these are gas-operated rifles chambered in the legendary 7.62 by 39mm cartridge, the exact same round utilized by the AK-47. This chambering is a massive logistical advantage because it means ammunition is everywhere and remains dirt cheap. The rifle feeds from a fixed 10-round magazine that loads via stripper clips. While stripper clips might seem antiquated compared to modern detachable magazines, they are surprisingly fast to run once you get the hang of them, and certainly much faster to load than any standard bolt-action rifle. When it comes to subjective evaluation and build quality, let's be honest, the Chinese SKS is famous for being brutally reliable, but absolutely no one is calling it pretty. You should expect a rough overall finish, visible tool marks from the machining process, and incredibly basic wood stocks. However, my personal take is that you shouldn't let the rugged, utilitarian exterior fool you. Underneath all that crude manufacturing is a highly dependable action that just runs and runs without complaint. On the range, the accuracy hovers around 3 to 4 MOA. It's certainly not a precision target rifle, but it is perfectly adequate for minute-of-man accuracy at practical, real-world shooting distances. This brings me to a crucial personal plea for anyone looking to buy one. If you manage to pick up a Type 56, please resist the urge to bubba it. Do not throw it into a cheap aftermarket Tapco stock and slap a junk optic on top of it. These historical rifles are getting increasingly harder to find in their original military configuration, and frankly, they deserve better treatment from the shooting community. Ultimately, the pricing is what makes this rifle a standout choice. You can still find these Chinese examples for reasonable money, typically ranging from $400 to $600. At that price point, you are getting an incredibly versatile rifle that works brilliantly for hunting, serves as a capable home defense option, or makes for the ultimate truck gun that you won't have to feel guilty about knocking around. It is a dependable piece of history that delivers serious power without the premium price tag. Number 6. Spanish M1916 Mauser. When diving into the world of surplus firearms, Spanish Mausers can be a little confusing because there are so many different variants out there. However, from my perspective, that confusion is exactly what keeps prices low for savvy buyers. The Spanish M1916 short rifle represents a fantastic value that smart shooters shouldn't overlook. From a purely mechanical standpoint, these are handy, quick-pointing carbines built on undeniably solid Mauser actions. What makes the M1916 particularly fascinating is its history of chamberings. Originally, these rifles were chambered in 7x57mm Mauser. But here is where it gets interesting. In the 1950s, Spain converted many of these rifles to 7.62 NATO. This means you can find the exact same model of rifle in 2 completely different calibers out in the wild. Subjectively speaking, both versions have their distinct pros and cons depending on your goals. I personally consider the original 7x57mm to be one of the best hunting cartridges ever designed. It is arguably a superior hunting round, even though it undeniably costs more to shoot today. On the other hand, the 7.62 NATO versions have the obvious advantage of cheap, readily available ammunition. My biggest personal warning to any buyer is this: you absolutely must verify the chambering before you shoot. Mixing these two calibers up is extremely dangerous. But if you are willing to do your homework and verify exactly what you are buying, you've got a legitimate bargain Mauser on your hands. As for the cost, you can typically snag one of these rifles for around $400 to $500. At that price point, you're getting a genuinely great deal, mostly because the widespread caliber confusion tends to scare off casual buyers. If you are a smart shooter willing to pay attention to the details, the M1916 delivers legendary Mauser reliability without the insane collector premium.
Number 5. Swiss Schmidt-Rubin K11. Everyone in the surplus world talks about the Swiss K31, and for good reason, but the earlier K11 is the real hidden gem that smart shooters are chasing. It delivers 90% of the K31's legendary performance at about 60% of the price. From an objective, mechanical standpoint, the K11 is a true testament to quality, having served from 1911 until the K31 replaced it in 1933. Swiss engineering is on full display here with the iconic Schmidt-Rubin straight pull action. Mechanically, this means you just pull the bolt straight back and push it straight forward. There is absolutely no rotating the bolt handle. It is chambered in the potent 7.5x55mm Swiss. Because the Swiss military demanded incredible precision from their arms, it is completely common for a K11 to shoot 1 to 2 MOA right out of the gates. While the required ammunition does cost a bit more, it is thankfully still available from specialty makers. Subjectively speaking, running this rifle is an addictive feeling once you try it. It boasts a buttery smooth operation that, quite frankly, makes a traditional turn-bolt action feel like a crude farm implement by comparison. My personal take is that you shouldn't underestimate this century-old firearm. These rifles deliver a level of accuracy that will honestly embarrass many brand new hunting rifles sitting on the rack today. Ultimately, it all comes down to the value proposition. With K31s now rapidly approaching the $1,000 mark on the collector's market, the K11 remains a fantastic deal, typically sitting at around $500 to $700. For anyone who truly values pure accuracy and wants to own something genuinely unique, this is undoubtedly your rifle. Number 4. Steyr Man M95 Carbine. The Swiss weren't the only ones who loved straight pull actions. If you are looking for a unique piece of history, the Austro-Hungarian M95 delivers brutal efficiency at a shockingly affordable price. From a mechanical and historical standpoint, the M95 is a straight-pull battle carbine from the Great War that served through World War I and saw action again in World War II. While the straight-pull design is different from the Swiss system, it's just as fast. However, there is a significant catch when it comes to logistics. These M95s are chambered in the obscure 8x56mm R cartridge. Ammo is scarce and it's expensive, meaning you'll probably want to get into reloading if you plan to shoot it often. Despite the ammunition hurdles, the rifle itself is incredibly robust and reliable. Subjectively speaking, firing this gun is an intense experience that is not for the faint of heart. Because it's a lightweight carbine shooting a full-power rifle round, the recoil is absolutely punishing. It is a true shoulder thumper. My personal take is that while the ammo situation certainly limits its practicality as an everyday shooter, it remains an unbeatable value in the weird military rifle category. It is a historical piece that you can still take out and shoot. Ultimately, the barrier to entry is phenomenally low. For just $300 to $450, you're getting a genuinely unique piece of history. If you can tolerate the brutal recoil and are willing to put in the effort to source or load your own ammunition, this Austro-Hungarian classic is an incredible, hard-hitting addition to any surplus collection. Number 3. Lee Enfield No. 4 Mark I. British engineering really created something special with the Lee Enfield, and the No. 4 Mark I is truly the pinnacle of that design. From an objective and mechanical standpoint, this rifle boasts features that give it a distinct edge. It is equipped with a 10-round detachable magazine, which provides double the capacity of most other bolt actions from that era. Furthermore, it utilizes the .303 British cartridge, a formidable round with power comparable to a .308 Winchester. Another major objective advantage is the aperture rear sight, which is fast and significantly more precise than the simple iron sights found on many competing military rifles.
Subjectively speaking, the ergonomics are fantastic. My personal take is that the rifle just feels right in your hands and points incredibly naturally. Running the action is a joy, as that smooth rear-locking bolt is genuinely legendary for its speed. The infamous Mad Minute, a feat where trained soldiers could fire 30 aimed shots in just 60 seconds. It was not just propaganda, it was a real testament to this system's capabilities. For anyone looking for a World War II rifle that remains genuinely practical for hunting and shooting today, the Lee Enfield offers the absolute best balance of firepower, usability, and availability. While it is true that prices for these rifles have climbed over the years, they are still very much obtainable for the average buyer. You should expect to pay somewhere between $600 and $800 for a decent one on today's market. Considering its rich history, massive capacity, and slick action, it is an incredibly capable rifle that earns every penny of its asking price.
Number 2. Arisaka Type 99. This might surprise some people, but Japanese Arisaka rifles are among the strongest bolt actions ever manufactured, period. And yet, the Arisaka Type 99 remains incredibly undervalued in today's surplus market for one very simple reason. The ammunition is genuinely scarce. From a strictly mechanical and historical standpoint, the action on the Type 99 is massively overbuilt. It features a cock-on closing design, huge locking lugs, and metallurgy that was honestly second to none during World War II. If you can track down an early war rifle, you will find exceptional craftsmanship and even chrome-lined bores. It is worth noting that even the late war last-ditch rifles, while noticeably crudely finished, are still completely mechanically sound. The rifle itself is chambered in 7.7 by 58mm Arisaka, which is a highly potent cartridge, though it is undeniably expensive and hard to find. Subjectively speaking, the logistical hurdle of the ammunition is the biggest factor you have to weigh. You are looking at paying $3 to $4 per round, meaning you essentially have to commit to reloading to make it viable. However, my personal take is that if you can get past that ammo issue, the rifle itself represents an incredible value. For someone willing to hand load or just shoot it sparingly, it delivers one of the finest bolt-action designs in history. Also, a quick tip for the history buffs. Always keep an eye out for an intact chrysanthemum stamp on the receiver. That imperial seal was usually ground off after the war, and finding one intact adds significant collector value to the gun. Because sellers often assume nobody wants to deal with sourcing the obscure ammo, prices have stayed remarkably low. You can frequently find them sitting at gun shows for just $350 to $500. If you don't mind the logistical hurdles of the 7.7mm round, the Type 99 delivers absolute top-tier strength and history for a true bargain price.
Number 1. French MAS 36. French military rifles have a reputation for being a little weird, and the MAS 36 is the perfect example of that quirky but highly effective engineering. Adopted in 1936, this bolt-action rifle has proven its rugged reliability time and time again, having served through World War II, Indochina, Algeria, and beyond. From a purely mechanical and objective standpoint, the action on the MAS 36 is definitely unconventional. It completely lacks a manual safety, the bolt handle is bent forward in a strange way, and the sights are undeniably crude. However, it fires the 7.5 by 54mm French cartridge, a solid round which has ballistics very similar to a .308 Winchester.
The rifle itself proved to be incredibly durable in the field, and its accuracy is perfectly adequate for a standard military arm. Logistically, you do need to know that ammo is a bit expensive and limited mostly to specialty manufacturers, but it is still out there.
Subjectively speaking, don't let the odd ergonomics fool you into thinking this is a subpar firearm. These rifles just plain work. It's not pretty, and it's definitely not refined. But my personal take is that for a shooter who wants something genuinely different with a fascinating globe-trotting history, the MAS-36 is an absolute winner. It has a unique character that you just don't get from the more mainstream surplus options. The absolute best part about this rifle is its current standing in the market. The MAS-36 has managed to stay under the collector price cliff simply because French surplus doesn't generate the same intense hype as German or Russian rifles. This lack of mainstream collector frenzy means you can still find great examples out there for a highly reasonable $400 to $600. If you want a proven, rugged piece of history that won't empty your wallet, this French bolt action is a stellar choice. The reality is, the surplus market is a rapidly closing window. It will not remain an untapped resource indefinitely. With each passing year, the inventory of these historic platforms steadily diminishes, either secured away in static collections or lost to permanent decommission. The 12 models we've analyzed today represent your optimal acquisition window. They offer combat-proven reliability and a profound heritage that modern production lines simply cannot replicate. This is tangible history, engineered to perform on the firing line. Now, the conversation turns to you. Head down to the comments and detail your definitive surplus acquisition. Did we overlook a high-value platform in our assessment? Let me know. I review every piece of feedback. For continued pragmatic analysis of the firearms market, hit subscribe, and be sure to join our broader community over at the Nano channel. Thank you for your time.